Hello. Okay, few people are here. Hello. How are you, madam? Okay, let's begin. Let me know if there is any question I can help with. Hello, Sadhna madam. How are you? Long time no see, no coffee, no tea. And this is kurta, not shirt. Thank you. So, any questions? ask questions. I am feeling bored. Okay, where Jupiter is bad in seventh house, I have seen number of chart Jupiter in seventh house break marriage. Now, where we see Jupiter as Guru, but it's still problem. Okay, it is because Jupiter represents expansion. Okay, it expands the house where it sits in. So seventh house is your relationship. So when Jupiter is in the seventh house, it is like the desires of someone in relationship are very expanded. They have like lots of expectations from relationship, from their partner and all. Now in that case, like obviously the other person can only do so much. I cannot have uh, unimaginary unbelievable expectations and all that from my partner. Okay, and when the partner is not able to do all those things or manifest all the desires, then a person starts looking at, okay fine, if I change my partner, will my desires will be manifested and all. Okay, so this is the reason why Jupiter in the seventh house can bring separation or divorces. uh, Although it is the most benefic one, but in this matter, like seventh house, because it expands the desires, expectations and all, here it is difficult. Okay, that's why I say for relationship matters, no planet is good. Okay, even Venus and Jupiter can have their own troubles in their relationship, in the relationship matters. Okay. Okay. For Pisces ascendant, before Sadesati start, Saturn transit in 11th house. It is not good for financial matters after that, and that is their all transit from 11th house, second house, 11th house, second. So from 11th house, second. So the financial progress get hampered, and Saturn also debilitated in Aries. Okay. Yeah, Saturn's transit in 11th house and second house, in both these houses are like difficult for your financial gains. Saturn limits things, so in 11th house it can like limit person's ability to earn money and all. They may have spendings also. They may have to spend away their money for some good bad reasons. So that is the thing. Then Saturn transiting through second house also shows that someone is unable to save his money. Okay, second house is basically your savings. So Saturn transiting through second house, especially for Pisces and where it is debilitated in the second house, this shows like lots of difficulties in saving money and all. For Pisces ascendant people, anyways, like their savings are difficult because Saturn rules their 11th and the 12th. So 11th is your income and 12th is your losses. So their income and expenses are same, because the same planet is ruling them. So they have to like make best of effort. Okay, they have to make good enough effort to get the best of the saving. Okay, they have to make it. They have to work hard for their savings. Pisces ascendant people find out new ways of saving or new schemes and all that. Hello from Myanmar. Hello sir. Hello madam. Okay. Hello from India. Okay. Any further question? I have Chatush Chatusagara Yoga. Mars and Rahu in Dhanu Rashi. Pisces Lagna now in Mars Mahadasha. Mm, this is also called Angarak Yoga, Mars Rahu conjunction in Dhanu Rashi. Understand, it can bring lots of fire and aggression to the person. Okay. Because Mars is aggression, Rahu enhances things, so Rahu Mars conjunction is like blowing out aggression. Okay. This makes a person very aggressive, and then it is in Sagittarius sign, which is fire sign. Okay. This is where it can become very difficult to redirect this anger. Again, our social conditioning is about controlling the anger, that you should control your anger, you should repress your anger. But as I always say, that anything that is controlled or repressed will come back with double force. So anything, if you control or repress your anger, it will come back at you with double force. Don't try to control your anger. Redirect it in some physical activities. Tire yourself down. Okay. If you are interested in running, jogging, any other type of physical activity like gym, exercise and all, these things can help you. Sports, any kind of sports where you are involving yourself physically, that will be helpful. Yoga will be helpful. So you need to involve yourself physically into these matters, so that you can tire yourself down. Someone who is tired, okay, understand what I am trying to say. If a boy plays football and kicks the football for 2 hours, he won't have energy to kick another person. Okay. So this is what I am trying to say, that tire yourself down and exhaust this extra energy you may have. Okay. So by doing that, you will be able to organize your energy in a better way. But otherwise, this Rahu Mars conjunction can be very difficult for your aggression, anger and all. It can lead to a lot of conflicts. Okay, maybe physical violence also. And be careful while traveling and driving now, to avoid accidents. Sun Rahu in Taurus, Leo rising, life path, career. Again, it is just one information. Sun Rahu in 10,000 Taurus. So, as you know that I have like this thing 7-8 steps to follow to know someone's career. So I may not be able to help you about the whole thing about career and all, but all I can say here is that it is a Leo ascendant chart and Sun is sitting in the 10th house. This person is all about gaining authority and recognition. This person cannot live without authority. Okay, and Rahu there is further expanding the desires. Okay, this person can have lots of issues with authority figures. When Sun Rahu are together, they can have ego conflicts and all, and the expanded desires will be there to get the authority and recognition in the world. Ideally, a Leo ascendant person should work for himself, because the 10th Lord Venus is also their third Lord. Okay, so if they can work in anything where they are putting self efforts, maybe in creative or financial field, then this person can have better results. But as I told you that career consultation, finding someone's career is like a long enough process. It involves 7-8 steps. So this is only one information. I cannot help with that besides this thing which I told. Taurus ascendant, Saturn Rahu in the 9th house Pisces, 9th house Capricorn. Please tell the dignity of both these planets in Capricorn, what these planets represent sitting in this house. Dignity wise doesn't matter, because Saturn is Saturn, right? Saturn, as I always say, Saturn is in own sign, but it doesn't affect anything. Okay, Saturn in a way is the easiest planet to interpret. Okay, Saturn is the easiest planet to interpret because it is not changing its nature. In Libra also it is same, in Aries also it is same, in Capricorn also it is same, opposite Cancer also it is same. Wherever it is just limiting your experiences. It is providing lots of blockages and hurdles in that area of life. Saturn is then with Rahu. Okay, understand, Rahu blows things out of proportion. Rahu enhances. Now Rahu is with Saturn is delays, so Rahu is further enhancing the delays. So 9th house related results will come with lots of delays, hard work and perseverance. This person would have to work really hard for his higher education, really hard for his developing his own belief system and all, spiritual belief, religious belief. That area of life, this person can have lots of troubles with teachers, with gurus. Okay, someone who is they can normally get into those type of teachers who are kind of authoritative or maybe even rude to them. Okay, so this is the difficulty which comes with Saturn. With Saturn, dignity doesn't matter. Okay, just clear this thing in your mind that Saturn can be considered as a good or benefic by any means. Okay, if don't think that if Saturn is in Libra, then it is good or benefic. If Saturn is in Aquarius or Capricorn, then it is good or benefic because it is in own sign. Doesn't matter with Saturn. Okay, Saturn is same everyone. Saturn can either be difficult or it can be more difficult. Saturn can either be challenging or it can be more challenging. Saturn is challenging for all, for 4 signs: Aries, Cancer, Leo, Scorpio. For these 4 signs, when Saturn is in Aries, Saturn is in Cancer, Leo, and Scorpio, it is more challenging. Okay, but we can never use the word good or benefic with Saturn. This is you have to remember. Then also understand, but there is another thing which is benefic with Saturn. Okay, which is like good with Saturn, that it gives results with delays, hard work and perseverance, but when it gives for a long time. Okay, so when you start getting the results of Saturn or Saturn ruled houses, then those results are also for long time. Okay, in many cases they are for lifelong. So this is what Saturn does. Okay, this is where it is good or benefic, that when it gives the result, first of all it will make you work hard. It will make you work hard, and then only it will give results. But when it gives the results, those results are also for lifelong. Here in this case, Saturn and Rahu are co-ruling the 10th house and sitting in the 9th house. Very less supports, very less benefit from any authority figure, either at work or at home. Okay, they will have lots of difficulties with in their career with authority figures, in at home with the mother, father, and all. Okay, so get rid of this thinking that Saturn can be good if it is sitting in own sign, or Saturn can be bad if it is sitting in enemy sign. It is same everywhere. Okay, it doesn't matter with Saturn. It is challenging everywhere. Pisces ascendant, Ketu in 10th house, Saturn works in materialistic or spiritual. Jupiter in 8th house with Mars, Moon, and Saturn in the 7th house. Ketu in the 10th house. If like this person is like trying to work under authority figures, again, because Ketu represents separation, they can have lots of issues while working under authority figures, others' authority. Ketu will make them feel separated. About this materialistic and spiritual, your spiritual journey begins when your materialistic goals are achieved. Okay, when you achieve everything what you wanted, when you achieve everything what you wanted in materialistic way. Okay, let's understand this. Suppose I want to earn, let's say 2 lakh rupees per month. Okay, or 3 lakhs rupees per month. That is my desire, that I should earn this much money. I should have 2-3 houses. I should have at least 97 Rolls Royces, as Osho had. So if I have all these desires, then this my spiritual journey can only begin when I achieve all these things. Okay, and realize that nothing gave me any happiness. Then automatically my spiritual journey will begin. As long as I am having the desire, okay, as long as I am having any materialistic desire, spiritual journey doesn't really begin. Okay, I can wear a robe. I can wear a robe of sannyasi, saffron robe, or I can wear this mala, but I will be still lingering around my materialistic desires. Real spirituality is within you. Okay, inside. If I am staying here in this home, I'm having all the benefits of materialistic nature, but I am not attached with them, then I am spiritual. But if I am staying at some ashram and I am thinking of these materialistic benefits, then I am a materialistic person. So real spirituality is here, not in outside appearance or the appearance or the presentation. Okay, so that's what I always tell people whenever they are asking about spirituality or pursuing spirituality. First attain all your materialistic desires, whatever you want to do materialistically. First either attain or exhaust yourself in attaining them, and then your spiritual journey will automatically begin. The day you are really exhausted, the day you are really exhausted in your materialistic life, that okay, I had enough, I don't want to pursue anything else, then your spiritual life will begin. Understand this important thing, that all the four main gods incarnation in India, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, Lord Mahavira, all were kings, all were princes. Okay, so like what it shows, that they had all the materialistic pleasures in their life. Okay, they exhausted all the materialistic desires. Then there is only one thing. Story of Buddha is the best story to understand this, that a person who has almost everything, whatever he can achieve by money. Okay, he had everything. He was the prince, and he had all the luxuries, conveniences, lavishness of life. And there the question came in mind, that if I have everything which money can buy, then why I am not happy? Then the journey begins. So to attain the spirituality, first exhaust your materialistic goals. Then automatically, it is not that you have to go towards spirituality, automatically your journey in spirituality will begin the day you attain your materialistic goals. Venus Rahu in Ashlesha Scorpio ascendant, does it create problem in higher studies? Venus Rahu in Ashlesha Scorpio ascendant, it is in 9th house. It can means they can have different views. Okay, understand. Rahu is unique. Okay, Rahu is always unique. Rahu also represents our rebellious nature. Okay, where we try to go against the norm and all. So when it is in the ninth house of higher education, it can make someone go against the norms of the teachers of or college or education. So they can be like really awkward for teachers to handle. Okay, so this is what it can cause, that they can get into like this conflicts with their teachers and all. Okay, so this is why it can bring some problems in higher studies. But another thing is that Rahu expands the results, as I said. So Rahu is in ninth house, can actually expand their higher education. Not necessarily they need to like go to college or institution to get any degree or certificate. They can be so much involved into higher education that they may study on their own. Like, I don't have any degree of astrology, I don't have any certificate in astrology. Okay, and I'm very fine accepting it that I don't have any certificate or degree in astrology. I never studied astrology in a proper way. Okay, so this is but I still studied. It was a self study. Okay, through Google, through YouTube and all. So this is what I am trying to say, that they may have troubles with teachers, but they will still study on their own. Thank you, madam. Rahu the rebel. Yes, Rahu is rebel always. with Rahu in the ninth house, they can also have like rebellious views on religion, philosophy, and all. Okay, they can have their own views that okay, fine, I have my own religion. They can develop their own religion also. Okay, they are so highly educated or learned that they can even think of starting their own religion. Okay, so this question has come. Saturn is with Ketu and Moon in the seventh house exalted. Okay, so my Saturn is with Ketu and Moon is in the seventh house exalted. I am about to start the Mahadasha of Saturn. How it will be for me? Mars is aspecting Saturn too. Ketu and I am about to start the Mahadasha of Saturn. Okay. Saturn Dasha is always challenging. Saturn Dasha always have difficulties. Saturn itself represents challenges, as I said. Saturn is the most difficult planet, so it will bring difficulties in like this relationship kind of stuff, especially. It can bring the difficulties of all natures, like health issues and all. But as it is in the seventh house is of relationship. Saturn Ketu together in seventh house is very difficult for relationship. It is the relationship can sustain in this matter only when both parties are ready to keep a long distance relationship, because Saturn represents long distances. So if the both sides are ready to keep a long distance relationship, then it is better. But the good part of this is like this Saturn is the third lord and sitting in the seventh house. It is like getting into your own business during this dasha. Then this dasha can bring good enough benefits. Person should get into like meditation. Okay, in this dasha, meditation is very important for you. You should meditate regularly. Saturn Ketu Moon together. Okay, Ketu is like spirituality in its own. So Ketu with Moon can make someone inclined towards spirituality, and in this Saturn dasha. Okay, so dasha will be challenging. Saturn dasha is always challenging. You need to take care of your health, the chronic nature of diseases, bone teeth related diseases. For relationship, only the this long distance relationship can work better for you, but otherwise it is difficult. Okay, for if you are trying for a conventional way of relationship, then it is difficult. In business setup, it can be good. Yes, very rebellious nature. Yeah, Rahu in the 8th house, Pisces. They can be like very much into occult, mysticism, spirituality. They can have some mystical experiences also. Does Atmakarka in 8th disturb higher studies? Atmakarka in 8th. It depends on what is the planet. 8th house can be 12th from the 9th. So it is like loss of 9th house related things. So that way we can say so, but it is important to know what is the Atmakarka here. Then Saturn Rahu in the seventh house, Pisces ascendant. Again, not a good placement for relationship. Saturn Rahu, Saturn Ketu together, they are difficult. Okay. As I said, only the only way of sustaining relationship in such situation is like keep a long distance relationship, and that will be much better for this person. Otherwise, it can bring lots of difficulties. Conventional marriage is not for them. Thank you. Ketu in ascendant. Ketu is separation and ascendant itself. So when Ketu is in the first house, these people are separated from self. What it means is that they are like having lack of self-worth. Okay, a lack of self-worth, and they are okay, I'm not good enough. Everyone else is more smart than me. I'm not worthy enough, and all that. These type of feelings are common with Ketu in the first house. When these type of feelings are there, then person looks for the approval from other people. Okay, this is what happens. When you are disconnected, okay, Ketu is headless. In the first house, the person has no idea about himself. The person has no idea about himself. Now he needs some idea. He needs to he needs to understand who am I, if I am really worthy and all. He is going towards seventh house where Rahu is. He is seeking approval of other people. Okay, someone else should like me. Someone else should appreciate me. Then only I can feel good about myself. Okay, so they gravitate towards relationship. They gravitate towards other people. Okay, at least one person should like me. Okay, that type of feeling comes with Rahu in the seventh house and Ketu in the first house. Now this is where the difficulty is in relationship, is that or marriage, is that they are seeking approval of other person, and if other person is a little bit manipulative, okay, then other person can realize this, that okay, this person has lack of self-worth, now I can manipulate this person. Okay, this is where the difficulty comes with Ketu in the first house, Rahu in the seventh house. They are obsessed towards relationship because they need approval of other person. But if other person doesn't appreciate them, doesn't put them on at high dignity, then it is very difficult. Then they will seek another person. They will seek another person. Let me try another person. Okay, someone will approve me. Someone will appreciate me. So this is the thing which happens, which brings difficulty in relationship when Ketu in the first house, Ketu is in the first house and Rahu is in the seventh house. It is difficult for relationship. Rahu Ketu axis is always difficult. If it is in the 4th 10th axis, like Ketu in the 4th house or Rahu in the 10th house, or Ketu in the 10th house and Rahu in the 4th house, it is like they have difficulty in relationship with their parents. Likewise, in the first 7th, they have difficulty in relationship with their partner. Okay, this happens with them. So wherever it is falling, like even if Ketu is in the third house, Rahu is in the ninth house, Rahu in the third house, Ketu is in the ninth house, they may have lots of difficulty in their relationship with their siblings. Okay, this is good evening sir, how are you? Exactly, it is painful when Ketu is in the first house, is manipulated by others. Okay. Virgo Lagna, Jupiter in the second house, Libra, Rahu in Pisces in the seventh house, Jupiter and in Rahu Nakshatra and Rahu in Jupiter. Jupiter Nakshatra, finance gains. Okay, Jupiter is ruling your seventh house and it is coming into your second house. Okay, Jupiter is seventh house, business. Jupiter is knowledge sharing planet, teaching, guiding, and counseling. Second house is your wealth. Your best wealth is coming through knowledge sharing related business. Any business where you can share your knowledge with others, guide and counsel others, that's where you are getting the business and wealth. Rahu in 11th house, Mercury, Saturn in the Cancer. Rahu in 11th house, Virgo, Mercury, Saturn in Cancer, Scorpio ascendant, Mars, Venus, Jupiter in Taurus, Moon in Aries. Is this a good position for Rahu Dasha? What to expect? Mercury is in. Okay. As I always say that every position is good if we are doing something related with that position. 11th house is a house of serving humanity, entrepreneurship. Virgo is the sign of analysis and details. Rahu is there. This person can be like a very perfectionist kind of. This person can be very analytical, very detail oriented. They can be interested in stock exchange also. Okay, that can also be one of the result. Plus then Mercury is coming in this ninth house, Cancer, with Saturn. Cancer is the sign of like nourishing and taking care of people. They can be interested in medical side of life, medical side of career, because lots of planets are in Cancer and in sixth. Moon is in Aries in sixth house, so they can be interested in there. The medical side of career, or any kind of like where they can nourish others, they can teach, guide and counsel others, that type of activity. So if they are doing these things, if they are involved in these activities, then Rahu Dasha is good. If they are not involved in these activities, then Rahu Dasha can be troublesome. It is always the case. You do something related with your Dasha planet, you will be fine. You don't do something related with your Dasha planet, then the stress is there. Namaste madam, how are you? Aries ascendant, natal Mars return in fourth house, Cancer. Is there any possibility of the change of residence in this period? Change of residence is seen from 11th house. Okay, 11th house is 8th from the 4th. Okay, if you start counting from 4th house and reach 11th house, there are 8 houses in between. 8th house is the house of change. So 11th house, which is 8th from the 4th, it represents change of your home. Okay, so look for 11th house Dasha, 11th house transits, and then you will have a change of your home or relocation kind of thing. Namaskar sir, good morning from the USA, good evening from the India. Any further question? Thank you. So just look at the dasha when your 11th house is getting activated, like Saturn Rahu co-rule your 11th house Aquarius. Look at Saturn dasha or Rahu dasha, even Antar dashas will work. For relocation you need some 3-4 months time, right? So even like if someone is going through Pratyantar dasha of 11th house, that is Pratyantar dasha is normally 6 months long, so even that can work out. So look at whenever your 11th house is getting activated as per the dasha, and then the transit should also impact 11th house, like right now Jupiter is transiting 11th house. If there are other planets also joining Jupiter in 11th house or aspecting 11th house from your like 5th house or other houses, this also indicates that okay, that time period will bring the potential of changing your home or relocation. Is Jupiter Ketu mutual aspect good? It is good for knowledge sharing matters, it is good for knowledge related research, it is good for any spiritual pursuits. Then it can be difficult if someone is expecting his desires to get manifested in relationship and all. For that Ketu has no concern. Ketu is all about separation. So for relationship matters it may not be good, but for knowledge oriented pursuits, for higher education, for any research oriented education, or for any like this like spiritual pursuits and all, or occult pursuits, it is good. As I always say, everything is good for some reasons, everything is bad for some reasons, and there is nothing like complete good and complete bad in the world. I can be good for few people, I can be bad for few people. My best friend can be someone's biggest enemy, right? Saturn in Aries, Virgo rising, with Ketu in Virgo, Jupiter, Venus in Leo. This is difficult for relationship matters. 7th house Pisces is there, okay. So this person is like gravitated towards relationship, but then Saturn is in Aries. The relationship benefits is the 8th house. So this person is like having obsessive desires for relationship, but then very less benefits in relationship. For relationship matters, it is not a very good chart. Saturn dasha is starting what to be careful against against any kind of accidents and sudden events, okay. And because it is 12th house, Saturn represents bones. It is 8th house and Saturn represents bones, and 8th house is the house of accidents and sudden events. Just be careful while driving and all. Saturn is also like 6th lord, so Saturn represents illnesses. So it is like a person can have lots of difficulties in illnesses or health issues of chronic nature, okay. So person needs to be careful. It is difficult position of Saturn. As I said, 4 positions of Saturn are really difficult, they are more challenging. Saturn in Aries, Cancer, Leo and Scorpio. Here not only it is in Aries, it is also in the 8th house. This is difficult, okay. So and that is the thing. Then Saturn itself represents changes, 8th house is changes. Be receptive towards the changes, be receptive towards the changes in life. If Saturn is bringing Saturn dasha obviously brings the changes. So if Saturn is bringing changes, be receptive towards the change, don't resist the change. It will be beneficial for you to go through those changes. Thank you. Having a Rahu Dasha, I am Rahu Pushya, second Pada in 11th house, Hasta ascendant. What to expect? Thank you, sir. Again, Rahu is in the 11th house and it is Virgo ascendant. It is Rahu is sixth lord, sixth house of your daily work life. 11th house is serving humanity. It is in Cancer Pushya. Cancer and Pushya are both related with nourishing and taking care of people without any selfish interest. If you go into the mythology of Pushya Nakshatra, you will know that Jupiter adopted Mercury. Jupiter took care of Mercury, though Mercury was not his child. So that is what the lesson of Pushya Nakshatra is, that we should serve and we should nourish other people without any selfish interest. So if you are doing something related with that, if you are nourishing other people, serving other people, taking care of other people without any selfish interest, then this Rahu Dasha can bring better results of in your life. Okay. Otherwise, average results. Precautions to take during Sadesati when moon in ascendant. Only one precaution: meditate. Okay. Only if we can meditate, that is enough. Okay. All other problems are coming because we don't meditate. That's it. So that is what we should be careful about. Get into meditation and you can sail through many Sadesatis in your life. Okay, so that is okay. I think we are done. Take care. Let's meet next Sunday if God willing. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Bye.